W281BR Memphis. The best inspirational music. The Trend.
Happy to everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice. You know what? This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad. And hey, I'm your girl, Talisa Franklin, right here on The Trend. You know what we doing over here, right? We're trending the music, the culture, and the conversation. And I tell you, on the conversation right here on the Talisa Franklin Show is all about sex trafficking. Let me tell you, I had an opportunity. I used to work at a station, MUTV1, 10 years ago. Shout out to Dr. Taylor and all the whole crew that's over there, and long live the amazing man that passed away. I did a show with this amazing woman 10 years ago because she was preaching and teaching and sharing the awareness about human trafficking. So I learned so much, but just the other day, it popped up on my memory on my social media, and I'm always happy to have those little memories things, right? And I was like, what is Kelly doing? Is she still doing human trafficking? Because let me just be real, y'all. Over the years of being in this industry, I have had conversation with people on awareness, and unfortunately, they're still not doing it, right? Because sometimes when the money run out or the passion run out, they forget about the awareness of the cause. But when I reached out to Kelly, and I found out she was still at it, y'all, on a greater level. So let me tell you about Kelly Alsobrook. Kelly is a speaker, author, advocate, and survivor of human trafficking, domestic violence, and sexual assault. She is now passionate about seeing those who have been beaten, broken, battered, and bruised become whole. This was the motivation for Kelly becoming the voice that those that don't have a voice through her first organization. This is what I remember. Ashes to Beauty. And now Empower You. Kelly is passionate about survivors of trauma, not just to heal on the inside, but on the outside as well. She's found that adding fitness and nutrition to the healing process help reduce stress, anxiety, as well as benefiting from the overall health and wellness of trauma survivors. Will you welcome with me? Yes, a true survivor advocate, Kelly Alsobrook. Hello there, Kelly. How are you?
Hey, Talisa. It's so good to be here with you.
Girl, it is good to be here with you. We hadn't seen each other in about 10 years, I believe.
It has been that long.
Yeah, because when I was doing the show, I was busy, but we was able to connect. And your passion, let me just say thank you for being consistent, right? So many times I see people have a passion to help others, but they may not have all the resources, and they say, I got to stop. But I saw you with or without resources. It was your passion to see people heal. Do me a favor, share with our audience, whether they're watching us on social media, hey y'all, or y'all riding down the road, listen to FM 104 AM 1240, The Trend. Share your journey on why you do what you do.
Being a survivor of human trafficking, I don't want to see anybody else in that situation. And there's so many vulnerabilities. Single moms, no income. We know how the economy is today. And there are so many vulnerable people in our society, not just in Memphis, but all over the country. And if we can bring that awareness and save at least one person's life, everything that I've been through is so worth it. And that's how I look at what I do. What I do isn't always pretty. It has been a long road, but it's so worth it when you see people acknowledging that human trafficking exists, that, now they're aware they cannot bury their head in the sand. Because how many people do that? Mm-hmm. We're so busy burying our head in the sand that we don't see what's going on right around us. And it is happening everywhere. Mm-hmm. Every small community, every big city. It is the third largest crime in the United States. It is a $50 billion a year industry.
50 billion?
Yes. Around the world. Yes.
Wow.
There and so what drives human trafficking is greed. Money. And it is everywhere. And you'd be surprised at how many people think it's just a third world country issue, and it's not.
You know, I remember 10 years ago when I had you and you told me about a particular mall here in the city, right? Mm-hmm. And so every time I would visit that mall, I was always looking and I was searching. Mm-hmm. And now sometimes my son, now 16, you know, I had a little baby there, right?
Oh my God, he's 16?
He's 16 and driving me. When he said, Mom, I'm going to the mall with my friends, and I'm like, don't talk to nobody, you don't know. And I'm still doing it, right? Because I keep thinking just because he's a little boy, it does not exempt him from somebody trying to hurt him, right? And when you gave all the scenarios and all the places that was hot spots for trafficking, you never would have imagined that was those spots that was really overtaking young people's lives. And parents drop their children at the mall. Drop their children at the mall and never to see them again, right?
Yes. And, you know, since that time, there are so many other ways which human traffic is happening. The internet.
Yeah, because we didn't have social media as strong years ago when we talked about it.
Right. So social media is a huge thing. Now, this is the shocker. Familial trafficking.
What is that?
It is when a mother, brother, father, grandmother, a family member traffics their own family members. And, you know, we have a survivor at Truckers Against Trafficking who, from the time she was 6 years old until she was 18, was being trafficked by her mom. And she went to school every single day. She would come home, and on the days that she was off, or if it was a weekend, she was being trafficked. And what happened is now during the pandemic, it exasperated because we were in a pandemic and people weren't working, but it's still happening. And it's very, very prevalent today. And you would be surprised how many family members are trafficking their own children, nieces, nephews, grandkids. So, you know, everybody has this vision of what a trafficker looks like. Most of the people, what do they think of? Starsky and Hutch, Hubby Bear, Huggy Bear. But that is not necessarily the truth. Traffickers, they can be school teachers. There's been a pastoral staff that in Georgia that they were trafficking out their youth. They have been arrested. They have been sentenced. So firefighters, actresses, actors, you know, whether it's labor trafficking, sex trafficking, organ trafficking, that is a thing.
Wow.
And so some of the things that people can really be looking for as far as trafficking, I'm going to give an example of labor trafficking. You know those annoying people that come to your door? Hold on now. Yes.
With that black and white paper. Go. Okay, come on.
And they're trying to sell you something. And they are very persistent.
Yes.
And you're like, no. That is a part of labor trafficking. There, you'll usually see a van or something to that nature. And the reason they're pushing so hard is because they have a quota. They have a quota that they have to meet. If not, Their cell phones get taken away. They have been left, dropped off somewhere where it's deserted with no food, no water, no money, nothing. And so, people see this opportunity. Another way, another example of labor trafficking is when, you might see a job online and it might be construction or something to that effect. Mm-hmm. And you fill out the application online. They send you a bus ticket. I mean, you do a whole interview, the whole 9 yards. They send you a bus ticket. They get you there, and then you're stuck. So those are just a couple of examples of labor trafficking. Sex trafficking, well, we all know what that is. That is, let's just put it bluntly, it's paid rape. In our culture, it is so easy for people to say, oh, pimping is the best. Women calling each other B's and H's. Mm-hmm. What kind of culture is that setting? It's making it normal. And what people don't understand is, you think a pimp, you don't think it's a big deal. You think human trafficker, and you say, we need to get them.
Right.
Okay? What we need to start doing is combining those two words. A pimp is a trafficker, and a trafficker is a pimp. Bottom line, there is nothing glorious to this life. Then the other culture we need to work on, prostitute, victim. And this is one of the things that we talk about in the law enforcement trainings that I do all around the country, is change that mindset. Instead of calling someone a prostitute, because what do you think of when you think of a prostitute? What did you grow up believing?
It was a woman that was selling her body up and down the road.
Yeah, that they wanted to do this. Okay,
this was their choice.
Right. But how many women do you really know wake up one day and say,
I'm going to sell my body.
I'm going to sell my body.
For pennies on the dollar and give it to somebody.
Right. Nobody.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We need to take the word prostitute and combine it with victim, because they are a victim, no matter how they got there. And, human trafficking is done by force, fraud, or coercion. Mm-hmm. Force can be, maybe a girl gets involved with this guy. They have sex for the first time. He videos it. And, they're building that relationship. But then when he tells her what he wants her to do, she's like, I'm not doing that. But he's got this video that he's going to upload on the internet. Share it with your pastor. Share it with your school friends. Share it with your parents. So what happens? That girl or that boy does not want the most brutal thing that's happened to them so far.
Mm-hmm. On the internet. And they're worried about impression and how people going to feel with them.
Right. So did they make a choice? They willingly went ahead and did it, but why?
Because they was worried about the outcome of it.
Right. They were forced.
Yeah.
So in the United States, anyone under the age of 18, if there is any kind of trafficking going on, whether, and trafficking is giving a service in exchange for payment. Mm-hmm. But please know, none of these people are getting that money. I know that when I was being trafficked, I didn't see $1 of that money. All of that money went to my trafficker. So, they can describe it as this amazing lifestyle. You have the opportunity to make some money, right? Well, no, you're not making the money. You're being raped 10, 20 times a day. And people need to think about that. Everybody that I know knows one person that's been raped. Now, if you think about that person, how long has it taken them to heal from that? Well, take someone who gets into human trafficking. Think of that same person who gets raped maybe 5 times a day, maybe 6 times a day, 10 times a day, 20 times a day. What do you think that does to the psyche of the person who is going through that? Now, I can give my own example of how I got involved.
Okay.
I grew up in an abusive household. My father, he was very abusive. He was physically abusive. He was sexually abusive, very controlling. I grew up in fear. And, I had a baby when I was 18. And I was out on my own. I had been hit by a car. I had my own apartment. I was doing good. I was away from my dad. And then I got hit by a car, and no income was coming in. Well, then I got put out of the apartment. Got evicted. Me and my daughter, we were living in my car, and one day my sister pulls up, and she says, "Hey, what's going on?" I said, "Well, we were evicted." "Oh, okay. Have a good day," and leaves. So here's a couple of factors here. I had already endured trauma with my father, right? I had no family support. I kept hopping from house to house to house to house to house with different friends, and I didn't have a stable home. And I had this baby I needed to take care of, and I had no income coming in. I finally moved to South Beach. Y'all, I'm originally from Miami. Moved to South Beach thinking, well, it's a touristy thing, so I should be able to get a job. I should be able to take care of my daughter. And I lived at a hotel on the beach because that was pretty normal for people. And so one day this guy comes driving up. He's in a Cadillac. He's dressed really nice. He's fairly decent looking, but in my mind, I needed somebody to take care of me. See, I was told every single day of my life by my father that I was nothing, I would never be anything, and I would never amount to anything. If you could see me now.
Yeah.
So when your own father says those kind of words to you, you have this low self-esteem. So I had that as a vulnerability as well. So here I am, single mom, no money, no steady place to live, and no self-esteem. So me and my daughter are outside. We're just kind of chilling, and he walks up, and he was like, "Hey, beautiful."
Like, you ain't heard that yet from a man. Because every man that's listening, make sure you tell your daughter how much you love them and you care.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's a side note, because one thing I love about my boys, they have little girls, they're girl dads, and girls adore their daddy, right? And so that's the first man should show how much they love them. So we won't hear from somebody else. But come on, continue, sister.
So here he is telling me I'm beautiful. I'm like, whoa.
I ain't heard that before.
What?
Yes.
So we started talking, and we started, he was paying for my room. He was paying for our food. He was paying for diapers for my daughter. And, even though he had this girl in his room, right? Mm-hmm. I asked him, who's the girl?
Yeah.
He said, oh, that's my sister. Don't worry about it. Okay, I was so dumb and naive. All right. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Duh. And so, she would even speak to me, and made it look like I'm in this fabulous relationship.
Right.
So a few weeks later, he says, hey, he said, you really need to start making some money. And I said, well, I've been doing little odd jobs here or there, blah, 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 whatever. And he said, no. He said, do you know what I am? I said, no. He said, I'm a pimp. And I said, well, that is not the kind of lifestyle that I want to live. Now, remember, he's been taking care of us these last few weeks.
Right.
Okay. So he said to me, he said, well, you give it away for free, so you might as well make money. I was like, no, I ain't about that life. I'm just not. And as I'm holding my daughter, and mothers, I know that you're going to get this. I know you are. He looks me dead in my eyes, and he said, what kind of mother would you be if you didn't have any money to take care of your daughter?
Oh, my God.
So in that moment, did I make a choice?
Because you felt your baby. It's like, I gotta do what I gotta do to take care of my baby.
Exactly. Now, would I have been able to leave him?
You didn't have anything.
No. Would he have let me leave? So legally, originally, yes, it was a choice, kind of coercion.
Yeah.
Okay. So legally, when you're over 18, there needs to be proof of fraud, coercion, fraud, and force, at least two of those factors. But what people don't understand, people are so quick to say, why didn't you just leave? Have we heard of domestic violence? I'm just saying, they ask them the same question.
Yeah.
How easy do you think it is for someone to get out of trafficking? It isn't.
Challenging, I can only imagine.
They will beat you down. They will threaten you. They will say, if you don't do this, I'll make your kid do this. I'll make your sister do this. They use anything that they know that is sacred to you. And that's why they take that time to groom you. They want to know all your information. And so that is a part where vulnerabilities really, really stand out. How many homeless do we have?
Too many.
What about the LGBTQ 21 plus? How many of those do we have that are misplaced?
Yes. And their family threw them away. Exactly.
Okay. And if I didn't get all of that right with the if I did not get it right with that community, please, I apologize. They're vulnerable, right? What happens if they run away? They're just trying to find someplace. Runaways, foster youth, kids that have been in the juvenile system. Oh, my God. Those are perfect targets for traffickers. They don't trust the law. The runaways, they may be having survival sex already just to get a meal or a hot shower. Well, see, we don't think of all of these things that are going on and how easy it is for that trafficker to come in and, especially if they're already having survival sex. Mm-hmm. Listen, our society needs a major change. It really does. We may not like a person's lifestyle, but we still have to show love. We don't have to agree with what everybody does.
Right.
That out of hand kid, showing them love, showing them something different. Mm-hmm. What is happening in the homes today? Moms are having to work 3, 4, 5 jobs. Mm-hmm. Kids are alone. You know, they may be moving place to place. They may be, you know, we don't know what's happening in these homes, but it starts in the home. Mm-hmm. Stop telling your kids that they're nothing, that they're a pain in the butt, that you wish you never had them. Mm-hmm. You should have got an abortion. Your daddy ain't nothing. Hey, I'm keeping it real. You know, I always keep it real.
Absolutely.
But how many times do we hear, first of all, the fact that we have all these broken families, that's just not right.
Right. And you said something, you think about broken families, and so many people broken. They take their children to church, and they're thinking church is the savior, right? And I know for me, I always share over the pulpit to parents, we can't fix your kids here. If you ain't doing nothing at home. Have you sit down and taught your child to pray at home? Have you went through their phone? Because every time you go through their children's phone, you can see what they're doing. You can see what their social media activity is. But I also want to encourage, and I've always said this to pastors, when you have somebody that join your church, if the first ministry they want to serve on the youth ministry, before you put them there, you need to do a background check and see where they come from. I don't care how good they can speak. I don't care how good they can dance. I don't even care how much money they pay. If they come in your ministry and the first thing they want to do is work with your children, the first thing you need to do is get a background check and see why they want to work with children, why they're passionate so much with children. Because you said, and I'm grateful that that church leader is behind bars, but imagine how many church leaders are still out there right now doing it to children. Right now. And then what happens, the children grow up. They never want to see church another day in their life. Or
Truth.
The children grow up and you said mom and dad mad because of their alternative lifestyle, but they grew up, whoever was touching them grew up. I mean, y'all, we got to get to the point that we're real. And it's 2023. A lot of things has changed, but these negative people that want to kill, steal, and destroy your children's life and your life. And as an adult, we got to be mindful of that. You know, and then what you said, Kelly, there's so many young girls I've seen that had babies and the family just throw away, you know. Yes, she made a mistake, you know. It was a choice, but she made a mistake. She didn't expect to get pregnant, but ask yourself, did you sit down and have a conversation with them? Did you have lit that girl? Like I tell girls, I say your body is a gold mine. You sit on it every day. Don't give everybody your gold, right?
Amen.
And I even tell my son, I said, just because you are a boy, you don't have to prove your manhood to nobody. God's going to tell you when you find their wife. We got to make our young people feel valuable about their body because TV is telling them all they supposed to do, let's have sex, baby, let's have sex. But they never tell you what becomes behind that sex, whether it's babies or whether it's diseases, something Clorox won't wash out, or the mental anguish that now you in love with somebody that only use you for your body and they gone on to the next door. So there are some things that then before you know it, you meet somebody like you did and say, oh, baby, you pretty. I ain't heard nobody tell me I was pretty. You said he was pretty. You taking care of me. Now you got to go out here and do what you got to do to take care of what I've been taking care of you for the last 3 months.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, you bring up, I'm very concerned about our youth.
Yes.
Our youth is exposed to so much at such a young age. And the time needs to be invested in these kids.
Yeah.
You know, and the root of pretty much everything with these kids starts at home.
Yeah.
What example is being set? Every time the baby daddy come over, are y'all fighting and arguing?
Acting a fool, but you wasn't fighting and acting a fool when he was telling you he like you.
Exactly.
Do it for the cheering. Come on, honey.
Is the mom going off on dude or keeping him? What if there are plenty of dads that are out there that want to see their kids.
Right, and the baby mama mad because he don't want her.
Right.
And then she tell the child, well, your daddy don't want you. No, the daddy don't want you, boo. He want his baby. And I'm telling y'all, mamas, y'all are hurting the children. Just because he don't want you does not say that he will not be an amazing father to their child. Try co-parenting. It'll help you because you anger. We got a lot of anger and bitter women because you had a baby with the man and it didn't work out the way you wanted to, but it's not saying that he didn't love the child. It's just he don't want you no more.
Right. And here are some more scenarios. And I mean, it's sad. And I'm not picking on mothers or fathers, but both of y'all have a role to play.
Yeah.
Now, you have a son. You're a single mom. You don't know. You can't raise that boy to be a man. You just can't. That man, a male figure needs to be able to help show that boy how to become a man. But here's the thing. Fathers, please, and I say this very nicely, stop. If you want to go out and have sex with every female that you see, that's your business. But there are things called condoms. Mm-hmm. I know you say, oh, it don't feel the same. Whatever. Stop having all these kids if you're not going to be in the woman's life and you are not going to take care of your child. On the other hand, women, I hate to bring this up. I know everybody watching has seen the Maury Show. How many of these women are bringing multiple men on the show to find out who their baby daddy is?
Right.
Women, you are beautiful. You are queens. Do not let just any man have your body because you are worth so much more.
You sit on a gold mine, sisters. Don't be giving up your gold. Don't give up your gold.
Exactly. And men, you are kings. You are supposed to be the leaders of the household. You are supposed to love that woman and love those children more than you love yourself. You are the provider. What the heck is all of this with women working, men staying home and
drinking
playing
that Kool-Aid and playing the games?
Yep.
Woo, girl, don't let them drink your Kool-Aid and play the games and pick you up late from work. What they do, that is. And you know, that's how things start. You know, I meet women and they may have a baby by this one and a baby by that one. I said, baby, think about it. It's your day to day. It was another woman yesterday. So the baby mama may not be as crazy as they say that if they got multiple babies by multiple women and they ain't taking care of none of them, what make you think he gonna take care of yours?
Exactly.
And so then that's when you'll get in a position that you may be the next traffic. You may be trafficking just to take care of your child.
And traffickers use those vulnerabilities. Don't think they don't.
Yeah.
And it's, okay, I need to bust a myth.
Okay.
I'm so sick of TikTok.
I just was saying, shut TikTok down. TikTok has caused so many people mental anguish.
Now, anybody who's been on TikTok has heard, oh, well, be careful if this is on your car, this is on your car. That's trafficking. No, it is not. It is not. It is not. It is not. Are there some sick people that will do some stupid stuff just to random people? Yes. But that is not human trafficking. That is not how they get their victims. Yes, there's a small percentage that do get kidnapped. But most of the time, they build a relationship. We're all so busy looking for love, looking for that person to care for us and take care of us, that they're not recognizing the signs. And that's whether it's human trafficking or domestic violence. If your gut is saying, some don't feel right. And I'm guilty of this, I promise you. Because even after 5 years of being trafficked by 3 different traffickers, I got into domestic violence situations, and I knew. I knew in my gut. But here is what us women go through. We have this complex.
So we can fix them.
Oh,
We can fix them.
I can love them enough.
I can't fix your boo no more. I'm over.
I can love them enough to where they'll be good to me.
Yeah.
No. You can't change anybody except yourself.
Yep.
And so that's the other thing I want to bring up is healing.
Okay.
Healing from maybe childhood trauma. Maybe you had abusive parents. Maybe someone sexually abused you. Maybe you were teased in school all the time. I was. That's traumatic.
Yeah.
That's traumatic. And so when those traumatic things happen, there needs to be healing. Because if you don't heal, and this was the case with me, I had trauma on top of trauma, on top of trauma, on top of trauma. Okay? And it wasn't until I started the healing process about 17 years ago that switch changed. And I promise you, I have a wedding anniversary coming up in June. We'll be married 21 years. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't know how he put up with me. I was angry. And because he was so nice and very laid back, never yelled at me, and to this day, the man has never raised his voice to me. He has never, ever, ever called me out of my name. Ladies, if somebody is willing to call you out your name, they have no respect for you. Never called me out of my name. I ain't even heard him cuss. And trust me, I've pushed him to the limit.
And he should have, but he did.
No, he didn't.
Because can't nobody talk like a woman that. I promise you. I'm here to tell you. Y'all know I love to talk. But I can just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And you're supposed to respond to my actions.
Oh, wait a minute. So the first few years we were together, I would be going off.
Yeah.
You know what he did? He got up and went in the bedroom and told me I could argue with myself.
Ooh.
Now, what does that do to a woman who is not healthy?
Baby, you probably banging on the door. acting out. Like, you gonna talk to me today. You gonna talk to me today.
And I would do that. I would go in the room and I'd be, blah, 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 blah. You know, the Italian hands just flying everywhere, right? And he was just like, no. I'm finna watch TV. You go out there.
Yeah.
And my husband even had what's called the Kelly kit. I was known to throw stuff. I threw an iron at my husband.
Jesus.
Busted walls.
She busted windows up.
But my husband had to patch up quite a bit from the Kelly tirade. So healing is very important.
She's healed, y'all.
Oh, no.
Now she can help.
It's lifelong.
Oh, it's lifelong.
It's lifelong. Because that old Kelly, every once in a while, will want to creep up.
Yeah.
But I can say I have not had an episode where I have broken a laptop, broken a phone. I mean, smashed it to pieces. I mean, because the anger is real.
Right.
And I didn't have any other outlet.
But whatever you had in front of you.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is to you all that maybe have family members or somebody that you're helping, give them the time to process that pain.
Yeah.
Because when they're coming out of it, they don't know nothing but what they already know.
Right. And so, you know, and I say to anybody who's been through any type of trauma, don't keep it to yourself. Don't suffer in silence. If you're a kid, you're a teenager, you're in school, you know you're having it rough at home. And if it's legit,
Yeah.
get some help from a counselor or a teacher that you trust.
Yeah.
If you're an adult that has been through trauma, traumatic things in your life, please seek some help. Because, listen, we have so many broken people in this world. And then broken get with broken.
Oh.
Because-
They have broken these babies.
Right.
The babies don't even understand balance of life.
No, these generational curses.
Yes. Hey, you got to call it what it is. Generational curses. Somebody has to have the power to understand that it stops here. There were some generational curses in my life, in my family, and I say everything under me, life will be changed. I can't help that y'all didn't get it, but I'm breaking this thing now, and I've seen God to do it, right? But you got to be bold enough to say it. And then I want you to deal with the family trafficking, because many people don't realize it could happen to the whole family. And then what happens is, say for instance, daughter was trafficked by mom and daddy. Daughter grows up to be a mama and get another daddy like the daddy that she had, and she does it to their child, and it becomes again
Generational curses.
How can somebody identify that if they're in that place? Because sometimes when you're in the midst of your trauma, when you're in the midst of your challenges, you don't even see there is a light at the end of this tunnel because you're so far in the tunnel.
Exactly. Well, what I say to that is, and one of the things that Truckers Against Trafficking does is now they are training school bus drivers. Because that little girl had to go on a school bus every single day. It's not like you could put a 6-year-old out on the track and not attract attention. So bus drivers becoming more aware of some signs to look for, maybe being more withdrawn, not wanting anybody to touch them, not really interacting with other children. School teachers can notice this as well, but they have to be willing to pay attention, you know. And then you go from there. Maybe, you know, befriend that child. Is everything okay? just that simple. Is everything okay? They may not answer you at the time. But if you keep on, if you have that student or child in your life that they're just not, or they act way out. But most of them that are being trafficked by family are going to be full of fear anyway.
Wow. You can probably say, how was your weekend? Did you enjoy your weekend?
Right. It's just those simple acts of kindness, simple acts of showing someone that you care. These are so important. I mean, we have to start being aware of others and stop being so self-centered.
Not the all about me.
Right.
We got to get all about we.
Exactly.
Because it's a we thing. Because if you're hurting, I'm hurting. We should be hurting together because I should be able to help pull you out and say, okay, sis, let's get this together. What are some of the steps? What are some best practices? And then let's be true. I think a lot of times we're afraid to tell our own story, right? And so you make somebody else feel bad in their story, but if you just tell the truth, you were just in their story just a few years ago and you came out.
Exactly.
But a lot of times we don't want to tell those testimonies.
I mean, you know, I was scared to tell people that in my past, I because listen, even though I was being trafficked, first of all, 98% of the victims don't even realize they're a victim. Okay. So you may go and say, well, you know, you shouldn't be doing this or you can do better than this. No, you're putting them down. They think the same thing of prostitution as we do. My thoughts when I was growing up about prostituted people were they nasty. Oh, they doing all of this for some money. They can't get a real job. They think the same thing.
Right.
I know I thought that even being trafficked. And I was convinced that I was lower than dirt because now I have sunk to an all-time low. Look what I'm doing now. I just proved my dad right. From all those years of him saying that I would never be anything.
Right.
So, look, the bottom line here is it is a real issue. These are real people with real traumas. And I mean, police may even encounter trafficking victims out there and may really have a heart for them. But because we have to flip that switch in our brain because we cannot handle all that trauma, they'll take on the role and embrace it. I did, and so many other survivors will tell you they did. And because we had to survive. And so for law enforcement, they may see this person and, you know, encounter them and the victim will say, you know you want this. You know you want this too. Get your money ready or, you know, whatever. They'll do the persona because they have to.
Yeah.
How do you survive 20 paid rapes a day?
I never looked at it as 20 paid rapes. Oh my God. So Kelly, I know I've seen, you know, when I'm in the airports and I'm traveling and so I'm always looking because it was something I was watching about when somebody's in the airport and they won't help. Talk about that because many of us is riding and we're traveling and you see so many different walks of life of people. So I'm always mindful, especially when I see a man with a younger woman, if they're too, you know, it's something don't fit right.
Right. If it doesn't fit, it's not right.
You know.
But here's the thing. The amazing thing is that stewardesses, flight attendants, I'm so sorry.
Thank y'all to the nice ones. Because all of them don't be real nice sometimes. But I keep talking to you. Be nice to me so you can give me some more cookies because I like them. Come on.
Flight attendants are trained about human trafficking, which is so beautiful. And I love that because they're going row to row.
Yes.
They see it. They have stickers in the bathrooms of the national hotline. Because I do want to say something. If you think someone's being trafficked, you may see their trafficker, which is their boyfriend. Because that's what they feel that they're in a relationship. Oh, that's my man. That's my boyfriend. That's my daddy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Don't play superhero, please. Do not do it. It would be very dangerous for you. If you see something, say something. Mm-hmm. Call 911. Call the national hotline. I do have the number.
Yeah, and I need that number because I want you all, while she's getting that number, I want you to get this number, especially if you are listening on FM 104 AM 1240 and you're driving down the road and you say, dang, Talisa, I can't write this number down. Go back to our social media pages. You can see this video. You can get this hotline or just Google it because you got to write this down. The ones that's watching it on social media, make a note and share this to your page and share this to your friends and your family because we never know who may need this number. And what's the number, Kelly?
It is 888-373-7888.
Say it again.
888-373-7888.
Say it one more time for the folks on the back row.
88.
Come on, Kelly. Sometimes you saw the back row, you could hear what they were saying up front. Come on. There's some folks, some folk like me sometimes have to hear it a couple times before to get in our head. Come on, say it for the folk in the back row. I sit on the back row sometimes. Come on.
It is 888-373-7888. So if you think about it like this, 888-3737-888. Now, there's also a number you can text, and that goes to the hotline as well. So even if a victim, they may not be able to use their phone to call, there is a way to text. And the number to text is 233-733. Again, that is 233-733. And you can text help or info, and it is 24/7. So again, I can't reiterate enough. I know there's people that maybe have this passion. They feel they need to rescue somebody. Don't put your life in danger. I mean, yes, you can report it. Hey, I'm seeing some suspicious activity. It looks like it may be human trafficking. There's guys coming in and out of the home, the apartment, the hotel. I mean, it's everywhere. So, call the police. Yeah. Call the hotline. Let them know what you've seen because you never know whose life you're going to save.
Absolutely. And then, don't say, well, I don't want to be nosy. I don't want to be that nosy neighbor. But what if they're trying to recruit your child or grandchild? Mm-hmm. Now, then it gets personal, right? So if they're on your street, they're on your road, they're in your community, they're on your whatever, in your church, or they're in your fellowship group, if you're seeing them out at an outdoor facility or indoor facility where a lot of kids at, say something because the very thing you're not saying, they could be trying to recruit your child. Mm-hmm. And, it's just important. And Kelly, I'm grateful that you're staying on top of this thing, honey. You for real about it. And I want you all that know that Empower You. Kelly Alsobrook is bringing awareness of human trafficking by sharing her own personal experiences and helping others to recognize the signs. And I know today you guys got some good nuggets, and make sure you call that number. Training not only law enforcement, but public sectors as well. So if you are in the public sector, you're a pastor, a preacher, community leader, community advocate, youth leader, listen, you guys need to call, reach out to Kelly and let her come to your organization and help somebody in your organization. Kelly, thank you so much for being here. How can people stay connected to your girly girl?
Oh, girl. I'm all over social media, so I am not hard to find. And they can check out my website, which is Empower You. That is the letter U, LLC.org. You can find me on Facebook under my name, Kelly Alsobrook, Empower You Dynamics. I'm everywhere. I am. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Those are my two preferred. I am on TikTok, but, and Twitter, no, I just can't do it.
Thank you so much, Kelly. We can't go 10 years, okay? I promise you, we won't do this no more,
No
y'all.
more.
Oh, my. But it made me feel good to know that you're still at it. Thank you for yet advocating for boys and girls so they can be okay. And even grown folk, because they ain't cheering, because she told you she had a baby and she was over 18 and she was in a situation. So never think, and because I'm sure it's probably traffickers doing it to seniors. They doing it whomever they can get.
Oh, mental health.
Yeah.
Those that suffer with mental health disabilities. There are so many vulnerabilities. So yeah, it's pretty bad.
All right, y'all. Let's get it together. Empower You, Kelly Alsobrook. I'm your girl, Talisa Franklin. You know what you've been listening to, and you've been watching the Talisa Franklin Show right here on FM 104 AM 1240 WAVN The Trend. You know what we doing over here. We trending the music, the culture, and the conversation. Know that I love you, baby. Absolutely. Positivity, love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Make this day, make this moment, make this second the best ever, and learn how to be the best you that you can be, baby, because everybody else is already taken. I am Talisa Franklin. Be blessed is my prayer.